Hey everyone, welcome to Ghosts of Bacon. I'm your host, Jake Roberts, and I have a really special guest here today. And all of you already know if you're tuning in here live. Good friend of mine, um, William Russell, is going to be in the house, and so we're pretty excited. He has some really cool. Well, we'll let those discoveries speak for themselves. So glad to see you all joining us here at a special time, early afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that William will not be basically staying up into the wee hours in the morning talking to me of all things. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. My guest, Will Russell. William,
Hi,
hey.
Jake. How are you doing? Hello, everyone.
Doing well,
Good,
my friend.
good,
Yeah,
good.
looking at if you look over on the right, we can see everyone's comments. They're all cheering you on already. So people are really excited. So what I want to do today is, first of all, introduce you and I have chatted and messaged quite a bit via the interwebs. And you've really, over the last, you first messaged me just before Christmas of last year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And you had found this really cool little tidbit. You said, "Don't know if it's much, but this is a lot of fun." And
Yeah.
then you mentioned that your lovely bride Claire had bought you my book. So thank you, Claire.
Yeah, that's
Appreciate you very much and appreciate the support. Oh,
Here
you
it
got it
is.
right there. Yes.
I still have it open on Appendix C.
You and Jason always talk about that's a pretty useful page. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put that out for everyone. But thanks so much for coming today. I'm really excited about what you have to share. And if you would, could you just introduce yourself to let everyone know who you are, what you do, and how did you get involved in my little crazy train here with Sir Francis Bacon?
Well, my name's William Russell. I'm from England. I'm a farmer. So I spend my day counting sheep and trying not to fall asleep on the tractor. I've always been interested in Oak Island. And then I saw Francis Bacon written in French on Zena's map. And that got my mind going. And then I Googled Francis Bacon and your site came up. And then I watched a couple of your shows and I thought, this is just ridiculous. And this guy totally believes it too.
Yeah.
So I looked a bit more and I thought, well, I'm going to have a look myself. And then I found a Bacon pentacle on Shakespeare's funerary plaque. And I thought, well, yeah, there is something to this. And kept looking and then we got in touch and it's been crazy since then.
I'm glad that you said it instead of me, because I mean, it as you can well imagine, just like your first experience with watching my show was, I hear that word quite a bit. This of one of the questions I get the most is, do you really expect me to believe that, Jake? And my answer is always the same. No, I don't.
No.
I don't expect anyone to believe this stuff. But I'm really so glad that you took up the charge of, you said, I'm going to look at this myself. And I wish more people would just do that. That's what I did, and it suddenly I'm tumbling down this rabbit hole that never ends. And you've had much the same experience.
And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do it.
No.
You need to read and count, and that's about it.
That's it, simple math. And suddenly these patterns start appearing and they keep repeating. And once again, our friend John Edwards, yes, believe it, the redundancy vets it all. And this is my favorite part of this. Thanks for bringing it up, John. Is now that more people are looking at, and as Jason states that you guys love the appendix with those new cipher signatures. And I'm going to have to do a show about that in and of itself at some point. This idea that we have to be careful of what I call saturation. You know, if we have too many numbers, then suddenly they cease to mean anything, right?
Mm.
And so there is a way to make sure that we vet these numbers, that they make sense, and actually tell the stories that we think they're telling.
Yeah.
So this has been really fun for me because I found this, and then I'm throwing it out there. People like you, Jason, John, have picked it up and started to look into it for themselves. And this is one of the big things that I preach on the show is don't just take my word for it. You know,
Yeah.
just look for the evidence yourself, and you know, look at the evidence I present in my book, The Holy Trinity Decryption, and it spells it out. So and over the last month or last year or so, not even, uh, your messages to me on Facebook, and as we kind of go back and forth,
Yeah.
every time you find something new, I wish you could see my face
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it goes from my jaw dropping down and then me saying, "Yes, there it is again," you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and so this, and Jason does the same thing. You know, all of a sudden he'll be, you know, sharing some things with me that I just say, and there it is again.
Yeah.
And as John said, the redundancy, being having people that are now finding what I found using completely different methods, or you know, from a different angle, is just really really satisfying for me. And I'm
Yeah.
so glad that you're doing it. Especially, you know, someone, you know, you said you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do this, and you're absolutely right. Anyone can do this, but your observations are astute when you um, break these things down. And I don't know if you realize that or not, but you break it down in a way that I think is just really phenomenal. So I really I want to commend your work, and I was so excited when you agreed to come on and show us what you found lately.
Yeah.
So where have you been looking primarily, and what do you have for us today?
I've been looking primarily in the King James Bible. And, I've got some really interesting numbers with the Psalms and page 369.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's definitely my favorite page.
Oh, it's
You know that.
amazing. I do. And everything I found in it corroborates what you found on Shakespeare's plaque. I found nothing to question that at all.
Yeah. And that's really kind of, you know, I did a presentation here locally. It's called the Science Cafe, and it's for the you know, the local colleges. The science departments invited me to give a presentation on my findings. And you know, one of the things that they said specifically was they loved the methodology, and they said, but and I said, they said, you must be catching a lot of heat. I said, well, the more people who are become aware of it, yes, more and more, but I expected it, you know. And they said, well, one of the big things is that from their perspective, they said, you've put your information out there. Now it's up to others to
Yeah.
find something that counters what you found, and no one's been able to do that so
No.
far. And in fact, I love it when people try, because they experience what you have experienced, which is you find things that actually corroborate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that this is like really satisfying, really excited. So do you want to go ahead and show us what you found?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
All right, I'll go ahead and add that.
I wanted to ask you about Bacon's death day before we get started.
Yes, it was on Easter, and a lot of people believe that he didn't actually die. I'm convinced that he faked his death, and at some point I'm going to actually present some of the proof that I have and some of the evidence for it. Yeah, John, Easter morning is when it happened.
And how long would you say he'd planned his death for? I guess.
Well, let's see. I would have to say, I'm sure they planned it for at least a year. Yeah, because you know, he had help, and his death was not the first one that our friends in the Rosy Cross faked either.
Yeah, cool.
That much I know for a fact.
Thanks, Jake. Right, I'll get started. Okay, so this is an almanac for 39 years, and it's near the front of the King James Bible. And I use Jason Mercer's technique to draw from the corners. And it centers, X marks the spot, on the 9th of April, 1626. So we can say he'd been planning it for 15, 16 years.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
I had that long of a span had never even occurred to me.
No, me neither. I found it astonishing.
All right, pre-show, everyone, William told me that he was going to show me a bombshell here on the second slide. This is...
Yeah. I wanted to test your poker face in case we ever get to play.
Oh, we'll play. You better believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So 16 years. That's astonishing.
Yeah, explain to the viewers, the significance of the date and how you arrived at the 16 years.
The Bible was printed in 1611, and
right.
This is in that Bible. So it's 15 years before he died. So,
right. Wow.
It's got to be, isn't it?
This is fantastic.
Okay. So there's his death day. Should we go to his birthday?
Oh, please.
Okay. So there's also a calendar in the beginning of the Bible with all the months in it. So we've got it open on January, and Bacon was born 22nd of January. First thing to note is 33 characters in the line, which is simple cipher for Bacon. And the morning lessons, 13 plus 20 is 33 Bacon. Evening lessons, 14 and 4, which is 18. G in reverse cipher, 33rd prime number. And you got Psalm 22 listed adjacent to Vincent, which is on his birthday line here, down here. I've got it zoomed in at the top there.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some.
So January 22nd, Psalm 22.
Yep, yeah. And if you add January the 22nd is 122, so you could look at Psalm 122 as well, which we will do. Okay, this is Psalm 22, Bacon's Psalm, which is twice 11 and X in simple cipher, 3 in reverse and 22 in K. Now, line 22 of Psalm 22, you've got 22 with brethren written underneath it. Could that be a reference to the twice 11 brethren?
I would say so.
Yeah.
And 22 is the value of the name Stuart in short cipher.
Wow. Do you have a cipher for 643? That's the total words in the psalm plus the margin words give 643.
Interesting.
Anyway. Okay. So this is Psalm 122 for Bacon's birthday. Total words is 124, which is twice 62. Margin is 3. Total is 127. Do you have a number for 127? A cipher?
Yeah, but let's see. I'd actually I'm still working on 643.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's a prime number. It's like when I looked at it, I'm like, well, I'm pretty
yeah.
sure that's a prime number, and I'm trying to work out what number prime number it is because
so I'll go back one.
Yeah. Let's go back and look at that. So let me check.
Yeah, so I use John Edwards' method to count the psalm,
Right.
count all the words from the big capital letter at the start all the way through, and then the descriptions in the margin opposite to count them as a separate count and then total them together at the end.
So, yeah, it's 117, the 117th prime number, which is the value of King Stuart in reverse. Oh, John came up with it too. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And let's see. Ray, one of our usual members, says that 417 is Saint Germain in gematria. Jason, of course, right on the spot. 127 is the value of mother. Great catch, Jason. Wow.
Yeah.
It's all right there.
Okay. That's brilliant.
It really is.
So then we got Psalm 122. There we go. We've got a total of 127. Don't know if you have anything for 127.
Yep. As Jason said, it's mother.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Right. So that's Bacon's birthday done. Now we're going to go to Mary's, and that's my favorite. Okay. So Mary was the 8th of December. So if we look along the line, you've got the conception of Mary, which has been abbreviated, and CONC totals 33 Bacon. So the conception of Mary is Bacon. How do you like that?
This is fantastic.
Okay. And if we total up the 3 lots of lessons, they total 67 for Francis. And then you've got James the First as the final lesson.
Oh, wow. His brother, yeah.
So he's used the conception of Mary to hide his own name as her secret son. That's fantastic.
Wow, William. It's so good.
Okay, and it gives us Psalm 8 to look at and Psalm 128 for the 8th of December the 8th.
Oh, great.
Okay, so let's have a look at Psalm 8. So 8 is H in simple cipher, 17 in reverse, and 34 in K. Total words is 167, which is Francois III in reverse cipher, I do believe.
Yes, it is.
Margin total is 14. The total words is 181, King Francis III in reverse cipher.
Wow. Okay, this is fantastic stuff.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Psalm 128, December the 8th, for Mary's birthday. Total of 100 words, which is Francis Bacon in simple cipher.
Oh, geez. This is great.
Yeah. So that's the birthdays done. So what we'll do next is the obvious Bacon cipher numbers. So we'll start with Psalm 33, which is Bacon in simple cipher. The total words 351, margin total 18, the total words 369. I don't know whether you want to say anything about that, Jake.
Yeah, we can. Well, 18, the number of words in the margin. I mean, that's the letter G in reverse cipher, which is Bacon. 351 is really pretty interesting in a variety of ways. I would see that as being a cipher saying C for the number 3, and then the number 51, which alludes to his brother of the Rosy Cross, Walter Raleigh. And 369 is the constant of the 9x9 magic square, and is also associated with Walter Raleigh.
Okay, so that's Bacon. So if we look at 145 next, which is James the First, his half brother, we have total of 369 again.
I wonder if they want us to look at that page or something, William.
Well, yes, it is. It keeps popping it out there, doesn't it? Right.
So true, Jason. So true.
So Psalm 53 for Mary in simple cipher as a total of 152, which is Stuart in K cipher, 14 in the margin, and a total of 166. I don't know whether you have anything for 166, Jake.
I'm not thinking of anything right off my head.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. You got the 152 for Stuart, Mary Stuart.
Yeah, that is neat. And it's also Rex Francois III in one of the ciphers as well.
Okay.
They kind of one of the things that I talked about earlier is the idea of saturation. And but when you have numbers that overlap like that, they become significant, and then you can look at the names associated with those numbers and look for them in other ways. Yeah, good stuff.
Well, you're kind of looking in context with the cipher number. Yeah.
And when it comes to the total number of words of 166, it could very well be that that's still a significant number that we haven't figured out yet.
Yes. Yeah.
When you look at contextually speaking, you look at the 152, and that just kind of pops out as being a significant number. Then looking at other things usually will lead you on the right path.
Yeah.
Often how this works. This is just great stuff.
Next, we got Psalm 62 for FB. The total is 255, which is BEE, which we've come across a lot in the King James Bible, especially on page 369.
It's everywhere on 369. Yeah. It's the value of Queen of Scots as well in K cipher.
Ah, wonderful. That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. So Psalm 67 for France has a total of 111 words, which is Bacon in K cipher. Margin total of 5 and a total of 116. I do believe you've got a cipher for 116.
I think
what it was.
Let me look at my chart.
Yeah.
This one was weird when you this had never come up on my radar at all, and then when you messaged me, the way I do certain signature work, everyone, is I created a table of values of the different forms of Francis Bacon's name as it should be, and in French his name would be Roi Francois Stuart III, with Stuart spelled as Stuart, and that name totals 116 in short cipher. And I haven't done a lot with short cipher on the show, but I'm going to feature it very soon because it keeps coming up. The only other value, the only other name that comes up as 116 is also in short cipher, and that's what his name would be in English if he were the English king, King Francis Stuart, Stewart the Third. Okay. And so, it's basically both of his names in French and in English in short cipher. I've never seen that value before until you pointed it out to me, and then boom, it was both of those. It's very beyond coincidence, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the 111, it had to be.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, John, B is also found in Psalms 46. And Psalms 46 was the one that John came on my show and demonstrated for everyone. Just really great stuff there, too.
Yeah, that was fantastic. That was. Found that very interesting. Okay, so Psalm 81 for Francois. We've got 287 as the total, which is the Friar Rosie Cross in K cipher.
Right.
Total of 319. I don't have anything for that, but the 287 totals very interesting.
Yeah, I like the 287. And did you say it was a 319?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. No cipher that I know of, and it's also I don't think it's a prime number either. So interesting.
Yeah.
Could be all kinds of things.
Psalm 83 for fratres, which is brothers. Psalm total is 275, which is James Stewart in K cipher. Had to be, didn't it?
Bingo. There we go.
Yeah.
Saying who your frater is.
Psalm 100, which is Francis Bacon and simple cipher, gives us a total of 103, which is Shakespeare in simple cipher.
Can't, as John always says, can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't. Okay. Psalm 111, which is Bacon and K cipher, gives us a total of 177, which is William Shakespeare in simple cipher, and a total of 194, which I don't have anything for.
Oh, neither do I. Did you? Let's see. We subtract. Oh, I see. You added the margin words. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Psalm 133, which is King Francis III or Baron Verulam. We have a total of 72, which is King Bacon in simple cipher. Yeah. Now, Psalm 119 has got the Hebrew alphabet in it, and there's a Tau passage in it, and there are 111 words exactly in that passage.
Oh, that's cool. And for people who aren't familiar with the work, yeah, 287 is Fra Rosie Cross and K, is what Jason is saying. But 194, I did find a value for that. That is Viscount Saint Alban in reverse cipher. I just looked it up. This one is really cool, William, simply because the tau, or the letter T, is the 19th letter in the Elizabethan alphabet.
Yeah.
And because of that, the tau represents Francis Bacon, which is why he would have 111 words there for sure.
Yeah.
Because the 19th prime number is 67, which is the value of the name Francis in simple cipher. So that's just, I think that's a cool find right there.
Yeah. So then I looked at the other Tau passages and added them all up, and the total for the 3 Tau passages is 963, which is 369 backwards. I had to put that in.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, that is so cool. Wow. And the viewers today, I mean, what you're all thinking, I hope, is true, because it takes a lot of time to just sit here and count words.
Oh, yeah.
which is a lot of what we do.
Yeah.
And this is brilliant work, William. This is so great. Fantastic.
Okay, so now we'll move on to page 369 after many clues to look at 369.
Thanks for that, Jason. Yeah, and then we have a comment here. Ray, yeah, he uses primes and mirrors. That's a great way of looking at it, because
Yeah.
I see a lot of reversals with these numbers. Yeah.
Okay, so page 369, the first thing to note is there's 738 words on the page, which is 2 times 369.
Right.
The 738 divides into 369, 123, and 41. And in the bottom right-hand corner, there's chapter 3, and the 33rd word is bacon. It's hyphenated, and you can join it to the word above for bacon.
Oh, geesh. That is great.
Signed it off.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't know whether you want to talk about the sonnets briefly. I've got the 6 sonnet numbers here that we found on that page.
Excellent. Yeah.
So there's 154 sonnets, and 153 of them have 14 lines, and one has 12 lines, and that's sonnet 126, which is the last sonnet on my list down here. So sonnet 24 is the 24th word, sonnet 33, 33rd, 45, 45th word, and sonnet 123, which is the one we started with, the first one we found, which is great. And the 5th, sonnet 18, now that was above 154, so I had to find a different number. So I went with the verse number of 18. And sonnet 126, there's a 1, a 2, and a 6 right next to it, so naturally.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And if you total the sonnet numbers together, they come to 369.
Of course they do.
On page 369.
Again, to make this clear for the people watching live right now, what William was able to do is find basically acrostics of the word sonnet at different points here in the page. Isn't that right, William?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And so then you had numbers that were associated next to it that just were there.
Yeah.
That is just the first one you showed me. It blew my mind, and then you started to find others. And this is the first time I've seen you put all that together. And of course, it totals 369. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I then looked at these 6 sonnets as a whole, basically, and see what we found.
Unreal.
Okay, so you'll see here I'll put them in a graph. You've got the sonnet numbers, the top line, and then the digital root of the sonnet. So sonnet 18, the digital root would be 9. 1 plus 8 is 9. The number of lines in the sonnet, the number of words in the sonnet, and the number of characters in the sonnet. And then I've totaled them all up. So the sonnet total number is 369. The digital root is 45, which is James, I believe. The number of lines is 82. Total number of words is 666. Total number of characters is 2870, where we discount the zeros. I thought that was all pretty interesting.
Wow. And
if you divide the total of the sonnets by the digital root, it gives you 8.2. But if you forget the decimal point, it gives you the number of lines.
Wow.
And if you divide, you can see all the sums down there, can't you?
Oh my gosh. And again, is that 0.123123123?
Yep, it is.
Those of you who don't know, 287 is Fra Rose Cross, I think, at K. Oh, John has one for us. 194. Try this one, Jake and William. The list of all positive divisors of 194. The list of all integers that divide 194 are as follows: 1, 2, 97, 194. So add up 1, 2, and 97, not counting the master key number of 194, and you get 100. And 100, Jake and William, equals in cipher Francis Bacon.
Wow.
Very good, John. That is really cool. Well done.
Yeah. So if you let me see, minus 287 from 369, you get the number of lines as well.
Oh, sheesh. So, I mean, this is just this is very similar to what I discovered in the ciphertext, William. What you have there is a checking system.
Yeah.
To make sure that you have it correct. So basically, by making sure that you have these numbers that repeat and are self-aware in that sense.
Yeah.
That means that you've hit upon the answer here. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Hold on, Philip. Let me try something here. There we go. Our pictures were obscuring the text a little bit here. Let me just take us out of it and make it bigger.
There we go.
So that everyone can take a look at that. That's just, again, total sonnets minus total characters, 82, which is number of lines. Wow, that is just phenomenal.
Divide the number.
Job. Great job. This is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, and if you look at Sonnet 33, it's got 111 words in it.
Of course it does. And at some point, you and I are going to have to probably go through some of the acrostics that appear in each of these.
Yeah. I've only dared look at these 6.
Yeah.
Sonnets.
Yeah.
I think that's all I've got time for today.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That was just. Let's go to. Go ahead.
And that really is just the tip of the iceberg, isn't it, Jake?
Oh, for sure. First of all, just the tip of that iceberg that you just demonstrated for everyone is just really phenomenal stuff. And yeah, one thing that at this point, everyone, William and I have been working on a couple of things together that we're not really ready to release, but all of this, just in and of itself, is just phenomenal corroboration of the ciphertext of the plaque, and it also shows that everything he touched, it seems he's really made sure that these messages were going to come through, and what we have again is redundancy.
Yeah. Totally different source saying exactly the same story. Exactly the same
story.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, gang. So looking at here we have using divisors of a number unlocks some of the cipher numbers that may have been undefined before. And yes, it's repeatable. Just another technique. Exactly what we just said. Thank you, John. Jason is throwing on there also 45 is also son and 82 is brother. Wow. Great catch. Great catch. Yeah. And
thanks,
Jason.
Jason.
Great work. And that's coming from someone who knows, who does plenty of great work his own self. So, quite a compliment and well deserved. This is just that I'm still my jaw's still dropping from that first slide. That's just so good.
I know, 15 years.
So if we kind of blank out here, gang, have a hailstorm outside right now. So if you're hearing a little bit of wind and noise, hopefully we won't lose power. But just wonderful work. this is just and like I've been telling you right along is, um, what I found that I had to do is I just started keeping notebooks of everything. Um, and this stuff, these are really, really great finds. And I think that by digging into these sonnets in particular,
Yeah.
yeah, I think more of that story that I confided in you is really going to be pretty obvious in those
Yeah.
specific sonnets.
Yeah.
That's my guess. And John has been, with our work together. One of the things that he's mentioned on this show is the idea of perhaps there's a mega cipher.
Mm.
And I think that what you have there are the very skeleton of that mega cipher of
Yeah.
how we have, hints in the King James Bible of 1611 pointing to the um, first folio and the
Yeah.
publication of the
Yeah.
sonnets right around the same time.
Yeah.
We have these big watershed moments, and John knows what I'm going to talk about is, of the years of 1611 and 1612. Um, that time period, a lot was taking place. Publication of the Fama Fraternitatis, for example, um, and so now you have these messages that point to specific sonnets that you've uncovered. As far as I know, I don't think anyone has ever, keyed in on it before. This is an original discovery that you made, and it's just really mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Great
Yeah.
stuff.
Best
Um,
part sharing it, isn't it?
it really is. It really is. When all of a sudden you kind of like drop a bombshell.
Yeah.
Uh, John and I like doing this with each other every once in a while when we're talking on the phone and say, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to leave you with this," and give them a new little piece of information. And
Yeah.
that's what you did for all of us here this afternoon. That was just really, really phenomenal stuff.
It's all
So,
there to find. Anyone can find it.
well, that's just it. We have Matthews telling you, "Well done, brilliant stuff." Yeah, your work is just phenomenal. Same thing from Tim. Thanks, Tim. Um, Bonnie, great question. Can you sum up what you have found out about bacon so far? Do you want to start off and sum up what these findings tell us? And then I can go into a lot of the stuff that I found.
The main thing I've learned is he's a very naughty boy. That
That's fair.
sums it up for me.
Everyone, what William's talking about is every once in a while, Bacon will throw in some, should we call them one-liners or I
Yeah.
don't know, just
Or naughty numbers that you shouldn't be
naughty
touching.
numbers. Yeah, and then he
Yeah.
he he likes to put in these, what I would call a lowbrow reference, if you will, for the profane people like me, where I key in on words that he intended, but are basically there to distract you from the true message. And it
Yeah.
usually involves bathroom humor, which is why I enjoy it so much. But yeah, for me, when the first message I found when he stated that he used the name Shakespeare, and he used the Latin term um, for legal name. I can't remember the term right off the top of my head, but um, the that was the first thing that, when I found that, I thought, oh wow, there, I just found it. I found a document that Bacon wrote that states he used the name Shakespeare. So that was the first thing that really got me going. But then that seemed to pale in comparison to the other bombshells that awaited, such as the fact that he really was the secret son of a queen, but it was Mary, Queen of Scots,
Yeah.
and he was the son of Francis II. That's, for me, that is the biggest bombshell in all of these cipher texts and all
Yeah.
these messages, and that's what repeats. When suddenly you start to discover new names of who his family was, where all of a sudden James is his younger half brother, and he
Yeah.
became king. You know, you keep seeing these repeatable messages, so that's what Bonnie. Those are the big announcements for me. One was also that Francis Bacon was an accomplished sailor and navigator.
Mm,
That's something that no one has ever known before. But he states explicitly that um, he had the time of his life being the first mate to, as he called him, the king of the seven seas, F. Drake. So
yeah.
he navigated. He said that Francis Drake called him his wisest astrologus, which is astronomer. And then he also said, "I time the meridians." Now that was a true science back in the day of how do you do that without what we consider to be a reliable timepiece.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Bacon was able to do that for Sir Francis Drake. Um, so these are some of the key pieces. Also, the fact that Bacon and his entourage of the Rosy Cross were accomplished artists. That's something else that was just you know pretty. It boggles the mind. And when I started out the show talking about how William and I were joking before the show even started of how crazy a lot of this information is.
Yeah.
It is. It's unbelievable. And people can't believe it. Um, but the fact is that the messages repeat and
Yeah.
from completely different sources. Um, and at some point, when I'm ready to release my next book, I'm going to demonstrate Bacon's alias formula, what I call the RC alias formula. And we're able to break down who some of these people from history were in terms of their true identities, whether they were Anthony Bacon or even Walter Raleigh for that for that matter. So it's really, really pretty interesting stuff. And the problem is that, and William, maybe you can attest to this of how it just keeps going and it doesn't
Yeah.
ever seem to end.
You try and write it up, and then it just keeps changing all the time.
Well, it's like I said on my last episode. I've stepped away from Oak Island research again and again, but Oak Island keeps popping up in all of this information. And hopefully, sometime very soon, I can have you back on and we can show everyone our latest discoveries as it pertains to Oak Island. I think that'd be a lot of fun for us to do.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, yeah, the double entendre is not lost on Francis Bacon and his writing, says Shakespeare. That's for darn sure. My sister Penny, Sir Bacon was truly a smart man. It's crazy. It sure is, Penn. It just doesn't get any better than that. And Bonnie, you're very welcome. I mean, this is what is. I don't know if this is a compliment or not, William, but this is kind of what you and I do for fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Coffee breaks and dinner breaks. This is what we do.
Start counting words.
Yeah. Yeah. And letters.
And
2,870 of them.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it takes. And the attention to detail and the amount of time of focused attention,
Mm.
that's what I kept telling people. They said, "How did you even, look?" I said, "I just focused my attention on this for a prolonged period of time and studied it, and all of a sudden, the pieces just fall into place, and you start seeing the patterns. They're there."
It appears difficult to do, but when you've got an inkling that there's something in there, it becomes very easy to sort of micro-analyze these things, isn't it?
That's just exactly it. And one of the big things that I try to explain to people is that when you're dealing with Bacon's ciphers, all of them, it's not something that you can look at an image and impose upon it, right?
Yeah.
As you just said, William, you notice, you get an inkling that there's something there because you see a mistake, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you see a little
Yeah.
an oddly shaped character that's like, oh, that's supposed to be a 3, but it looks like a 7,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so why
Exactly.
does it say 67 instead of 63? Oh, Francis, what
Yeah.
else did you leave here for us, Francis? And and that's kind of how it unravels, and suddenly you see the patterns.
Yeah.
And the thing I love about all of this is that you've been taking all of the things that all of us have been doing, and you put them together on these pages. In particular, looking at the calendar at the beginning of the King
Yeah.
James,
Yeah.
that was just a stroke of brilliance, in my opinion. I was just in the way that you were able to parse out, his birthday and Mary Queen of Scots' birthday.
That's the
You know
best.
that just blew my mind because um, Jason pointed out that, oh, hey, look, we have his birthday encoded in a lot of this stuff. Let's look at it
Yeah.
more closely.
That's what made me look.
That's what
Bravo.
made you look.
Yeah.
And
And I
so,
used his technique to find his death day as well.
yeah, and that he had predicted 15 years ahead of time. That's the part that just I'm just still in awe of that one. That's such a cool find.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it.
And at some point, I want to do a full presentation. I did an overview of an image that Bacon drew, I believe, at the age of 88. And it does have a biliteral cipher encoded within it. And I am still going to finish working that out, exactly what that message is. I'm including it in my next book, The Ghost of Bacon. But when I get that part done, I'm going to share it with you and see what your take is.
Yeah,
for sure.
Brilliant.
All you guys. So, okay, John. Cheers.
Cheers, John. Good health.
Richard, with this message, Psalms 46 and KJV also holds a possible will I am symmetry. Really? Oh. Richard Hang, what? 10 holds the key of I am a set and master identity of Francis Bacon. Yeah, that's what John presented on the show. But William,
wow.
It also says William, will I am symmetry.
And also the page that
very cool.
Psalm 46 is on has got 666 words on it in total.
Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting.
Well, and if we consider reverse cipher, everyone, and suddenly 666 doesn't have that connotation that we thought it does. It becomes the triple tau.
Yeah.
Reverse cipher, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's TTT, which is the value of 57. And then if we use fourfold cipher, TTT has a value of 67, which is Francis in simple cipher.
Really?
Yeah, which is how these they all interrelate.
Yeah.
And so if we look at the 666 with profane eyes as the number of the beast, suddenly what we can do is look beyond that, and then we see a clearer message.
And TTT.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. What facsimiles do you use? Great question, Philip. We use the actual original King James Version. This is the physical copy I use. There is a really great digital version online called originalbibles.com, the original King James Bible 1611 PDF. That has the actual original print in it. There is another PDF version that has modern text. The cool part about that version is that it has modern text, but yet a lot of the alignments are exactly the same. The spellings are exactly the same. And you can still use it to identify a lot of these messages. And so either one that you use will work. The weird part about the newer PDF version, I don't know if you experienced this, William, but when you zoom in on some of the words, the tittles above the eyes, the dot above the eye, are actually little plus signs. And you can actually do calculations back and forth using those. Not really sure why that happened, if it's just an artifact of translating it into a PDF. or if it was purposeful, but some of them actually produce known ciphers.
No.
Kind of out there. Anyone who's interested in doing Philip, that's a great idea. Download copies and then bought both the KJV and Geneva. Yeah, great idea. If you are interested in doing this, one thing that John and I discovered, and I'm pretty sure that Jason has noticed this as well, and I know you have, William, is that in the King James Bible, within the text, one of the footnote symbols that Bacon used was a little cross. Okay, you see the cross, and then next to the word, you can look over in the margins and then see the footnote, right?
Yeah.
The script. And so those little crosses are also plus signs. And so you can actually add up the values of the letters that follow those plus signs on certain pages that will produce messages. So anyone who's interested in trying your hand at what we've been doing here last year, that's just another cool little technique that produces results. John with another pearl of wisdom: the triple tau in early speculative Freemasonry and rose cross symbolism means ascended master. Yeah, that symbol of the triple tau, even used today in Masonry, it to mean the same thing in the upper degrees. He has signature examples of this. Very cool, John. And a lot of people, that is John's specialty. You know, he is a symbolist expert, and definitely. Oh, Richard had more. He said, Psalms 46. Sorry, my post was before I finished. 22 words down is will. 22 words up is thee in the Lord. Lord translates to I am, according to. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Very cool, Richard. Very cool stuff. Jan, hey, glad you could make it. Better late than never. As we're wrapping things up. Sorry, Jan.
Yeah. There's plenty of psalms to look at. 150 of them.
And yeah, you know, that's the thing, everyone, is that it's why I keep throwing it out there. And when someone, you know, makes some really cool discoveries, I try to bring them on and you know, give them a huge shout out. So that they can show what they're doing. I really want to exhibit other people's work and get it out there, not just my own, because it, as William just said, there are 154 of these psalms. There are same thing with this, or excuse me, sonnets. So there's plenty of these things for us to dig into, and plenty of work for everyone to you know, lend a hand if you're so inclined, because once I saw the depth and breadth of all this, and I'm a big picture kind of person, as people have probably figured out by watching this podcast. I tend to see the whole thing, and how it all interrelates. And as soon as I saw the depth and breadth of what Bacon had accomplished here, I realized there's just way too much here. You know, if I started, you know, back, you know, 30 years ago doing this research, I would have written scores of books by now, and there still wouldn't be enough time to get through it all. And so the more people who are all hands on deck here, the better. And William, your work, I can't, you know, I message this to you all the time, you know, when you and I chat online, but I really can't say enough, you know, of how brilliant this work is you're doing. And every time you come up with something new, you blow my mind, man. So this was a really great presentation. And I don't know. I think we're going to be talking about this one for a while. So
yeah,
great job. So no problem. Any other questions? Really great questions coming up all of a sudden. So Linda, she says, thanks for coming, and you're welcome, Linda. Definitely a good hour. Ray wants to know what's in Revelations or Ecclesiastes. We don't know. We haven't looked at Ray. believe me, it's on our radar. We want to, but we haven't
Yeah.
had a chance to
Genesis.
get Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah. They actually include an original leaf from 1611 for free. Yeah, that came with mine too, Phil. It's really cool. It's just that they put it in a little envelope, and you open up the inside cover, and they have an original leaf from one of the original 1611s. Pretty cool. Yep. All right. Anything to add, sir, before we cut loose?
No, just to thank you for having me on. Really enjoyed it.
This was, believe me, my pleasure. I can't say enough. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap you up. I'm going to put you here in the waiting room, and we'll touch base after we log out here. Thanks for coming, William. This is awesome.
Cheers.
So yeah, gang, this is one for the books, I think. This was so much fun. And again, I can't really say enough about William's work. One last thing I wanted to talk about, my last podcast, I mentioned that I was going to be pulling my the Oak Island Treasure Map book. That has been pulled. And so those of you who have the Kindle version, what I'm doing is I've discovered a whole series of information that I plan on including in republishing. And so I'm in the final touches of putting that together, and that will be available soon. Those of you who have the Kindle version, I'm going to republish it under the original title. So hopefully it will update your version, your electronic version of the book. Okay, so that you won't have to go back and try to find the new information. So yes, John. Excellent. Good. So I'm hoping that will be automatic, and then I will also re-release it under the new title. And the title is different by adding the word S, because in it, I'm going to be including the work that William and I have just completed with another map that leads directly to Oak Island and puts an X on the map. That information is going to be included. And I also recently did an analysis of Zena's map. A lot of people have asked me what I thought about it and those kinds of things. So when I did the analysis for a few other people, I decided to include that information as well. So that'll be coming out soon. Stay tuned, and I'll be sure to make sure that I announce when that's going to be available. All right, gang. Thanks so much for joining, and I appreciate you very much for watching live. If you enjoy the video, make sure that you're on YouTube. Please click like, and please hit that button to follow my videos and subscribe to my channel. Thanks again. Take care of each other and have a great day.